Hello there. Last week, the ACT Party lost its fifth candidate during this year's election cycle, and that should be a red flag for anybody considering voting for them for a couple of reasons. The first being the fact that these candidates have all stepped down for quote unquote personal reasons, and those personal reasons tend to be somebody discovered that they'd been spreading misinformation and disinformation, and it might be around things like vaccines or mandates or climate change. For the case of Brent Miles, who was the most recent candidate to step down, it was because he'd been sharing information and talking points provided by NNP, the New Nation Party. They're an alt right group that's trying really hard to turn back the clock on things like race relations. They're really problematic. And this was an ACT candidate sharing their information and spreading their talking points in a very conspiratorial sort of way. What this showcases, though, is that ACT's vetting process is really slim on the ground at the moment because a Facebook check should be the most basic of things that you do. And if you know you're going to have somebody who is standing up and running, you get permission to look at their pages in full, even the stuff that they're not putting out there online, so you know full well the caliber of your candidates. They have not done that quite clearly a number of times over and over because it doesn't seem to be about the caliber of candidates or what they bring to the table or what they could add to Parliament. It's about boosting the numbers for ACT itself directly. And that's a real concern when it comes to voting. We don't know how many more of these candidates there are buried in the ACT party, the ones who do actually know how to lock down their profile. We don't know how bad this problem is. And yet, there's at least 10% of the population out there thinking that this is a viable option for government. A viable option for government that wants to reduce the restrictions for builders that led to things like leaky houses last time these were put in place. Who wants to completely undo the constitution of this country and pull on a referendum around te tiriti. It shows a complete lack of constitutional awareness about how country works and a complete lack of awareness around how bad some of their candidates can be. And they're in such a rush to get the numbers up that they're willing to put people at risk by putting through candidates who are spreading misinformation and disinformation, all in the name of boosting ACT's profile. That's something that we really should be concerned about. And anybody considering voting ACT should really be aware of the fact that they're not only being misled, they're being taken up the garden path by a group of people who can't even be bothered to check things out properly about those that would represent them.